How you doing, guys? Trebor here to talk to you about this week's The Walking Dead. This was Season 8, Episode 10, The Lost and the Plunderers. Went a little bit Tarantino on us, didn't it, with those title cards introducing the characters? I mean, I get this is The Walking Dead trying to be artistic, and The Walking Dead can do that. It's done it many times over the past 8 years with varying degrees of success. And I'm all for different directors taking on different episodes, because a lot of shows do that. Walking Dead's always done that. And I like that you can get different creative input and see different directors' ways of doing things. It helps a show in the long run. But when you get effects like this, they just seem kind of randomised and it doesn't really mesh with what's going on. I mean, I can guarantee we won't see this effect again. It just didn't really work. It's almost like the showrunners or AMC know that The Walking Dead can be a little bit messy as of late. And it's like they're trying to present it to us in a neat and tidy way and organise it for us. That's what it felt like. It's a small nitpick. I just don't think we really needed the title cards. We knew the characters in this episode that they was focusing on. We're familiar with them. So the episode would have been fine without it. But even though this episode wasn't without its flaws, I do feel like this was a good episode. It was a good episode with great moments in it. And I feel like the past two episodes have been slightly tighter with slightly better dialogue. But I just hope it kind of keeps this trend up for the next half of the show to make up for the first half of the season. So the episode opened with Rick and Michonne in Alexandria almost immediately following Carl's death. They were like paying their final respects at his grave or whatever. And it's still emotional, but there's still that underlying current of emotion that you feel from that event. And then obviously they had to leave Alexandria in a hurry because there are things on fire, there are walkers everywhere. And then we had this sequence with Michonne, who was desperate to try and put this fire out at this kind of gazebo shelter thing, because she said Carl used to sit on the roof of it. The trouble is, I'm not familiar with any time we ever saw him do that. I mean, I'm sure we did, even if it was only once. But that didn't really have much emotional resonance for me. It was her and Rick with fire extinguishers. I can see they're getting quite frantic and their emotions are kind of like controlling them at the moment. And I like that, but this just felt a little bit silly to me. I do like the two of them. I do think they make a good on-screen couple. And I am interested to see where both Rick and Michonne proceed from these events. We then had a really good scene between Negan and Simon at the sanctuary, and there are some definite tensions rising between those two. And with Simon, I think we're kind of starting to see the cracks in their relationship. Like, it just looks like Simon is starting to view Negan as a weak leader, because Negan's kind of sitting around and biding his time, and essentially he wants to resolve the whole war and solution with just taking out Rick. You can see the anger rising there. You get the feeling that Simon's just a very angry guy, and he's looking for pretty much any excuse to resort to violence and kill a bunch of people. That's just what it seems like. He says that he wants to basically start from fresh and they should expand their operations out further and meet new communities, because he just believes the ones they're dealing with now under Rick, it's just not working. So although Simon's not happy with this arrangement, Negan asks him to go to the garbage dump, to the garbage people, to basically take all their weapons off them and gain their loyalty, like get their allegiance, because Negan still sees them as resources. And Negan tells him very specifically to only kill one person. And I still think there is something going on there. I think there is a past with Simon. I think Simon has done something rash, and I do think it is something to do with the Oceanside group, but hopefully we'll see that with the next few episodes. That's a whole other fan theory that's going around, and I do think it makes a lot of sense. So Simon goes to the garbage people, led by Jadis, and speaks to her, and he takes a bunch of men. They take the weapons off them, and he's not happy with the way Jadis is dealing with the situation. And fair enough, you can't really trust these guys. I mean, how could you trust Jadis? She's played both sides. She's worked a little bit under Rick. She's worked a little bit under Negan. Not really the most trustworthy people, but you get the sense that she just wants to kind of be left alone and left to do their own thing. So Simon's doing his thing, being a slimy, intimidating bastard, and he pushes Jadis into this violent confrontation. It's like he wants it to happen. This is the way he wants the situation to pan out. So he fishes for this apology, which she doesn't give him. She just says, look, you've got the guns, do we have a deal? She says she wasn't working with Rick. He calls her out on her bullshit, and he shoots her right-hand man. He says he's not really feeling the remorse. So he shoots this guy, and she says there is remorse. And he's done Negan's bidding, he's killed the one guy, and he still doesn't take her word for it, so he shoots another person. The shit just hits the fan. Jadis then hits him in retaliation and gets really angry, which is a big no-no if you do something like that to any of Negan's men. And when she does this, she starts talking normally. She drops the caveman, that weird stunted caveman speech that these garbage crew have, which I've never liked. I think it's really silly. And you realise that, like King Ezekiel, the way that he speaks to his kingdom, all regal and like a medieval old-timey king, the way these garbage people spoke, really limited. It was just all a front. I don't know why they would choose to do that. because they just wanted to be unique and it was their thing. And she starts talking normally, and I'm already way more interested in Jadis as a character. And the guy who plays Simon, Stephen Ogg, he's fantastic. He's one of the better actors we've got on this show at the moment, and I've liked him since he came into the show with Negan's crew, and I always hoped that he'd have quite a large part, and he has. I mean, he's still in the show after a couple of seasons. He just plays it so well, and I know you could say he's channeling Trebor from Grand Theft Auto 5, but he's just so good at it. He's intimidating, and his facial expressions and the way that he acts in this scene is just so... There's a hint of crazy in there, and he's very angry, and you know that he's just got bloodlust. He just wants to kill people. But Simon orders his men to completely wipe out the garbage people. Gun them all down, they are all dead. They're done with, and it's kind of a relief. They haven't been the best characters, they've overbloated the cast, they're really silly. It's just quite refreshing just to see them get wiped clean, and I'm pretty sure that the showrunners weren't planning on doing this from the get-go. I think they've kind of decided to do it now because they didn't know what else to do with the characters, and they've said, yeah, they're a bit silly. So although it was quite refreshing to see these characters leave the show in quite a morbid way, it did make me feel for Jadis a little bit. There was some emotion there because she, she's lived with these people in the apocalypse. They're like friends and family, and she just watched them all get mowed down. And the scene ends with that really gruesome spectacle where Jadis makes the noise to lead all her former friends and this crew, who are now zombified. She leads them all to the end of the junkyard into the thresher, and they all get ground up and mashed up, and she just lets them all sort of like fall in one by one, all these people that she recognises and knows. And that's quite, yeah, that would mess you up. And now that Simon has slaughtered Jadis' entire crew, and it really went against what Negan wanted, Negan's going to be furious. I can't wait to see that interaction, because Simon is keeping it quiet. He doesn't fully tell Negan what went down when he went there. And it's only a matter of time, surely, before Negan finds out somehow. And he's got the blue paint spilt on his shoe from the junkyard, which I guess is going to have some kind of relevance or be some sort of giveaway. So before I wrap up with the really good scene that occurred between Rick and Negan, I want to just address a few problems that I've got with Rick. And I don't like to have problems with Rick because I do really like Andrew Lincoln as an actor, and I really like Rick as a character. There's been so many fantastic moments in the show, especially in previous seasons, where Rick has led his community and his survivors and just been a really good leader, and he's had to go through so much. And I think Andrew Lincoln's just done, the range of acting he's had to show has been fantastic. So I don't like to have complaints about Rick, but this episode did a few things that annoyed me in terms of his character. Rick and Michonne go to the junkyard following Simon's massacre, and they speak to Jadis, and it's surrounded by all the zombified members of her crew, and they fight their way through and essentially decide that she can't help anyway because they went there to get guns and have Jadis and her crew on their side, and there's nothing now. And Jadis is just this broken woman. She wants to go with them. She wants to go with Rick and Michonne, and Rick just doesn't allow it. He just shuts her off, and he even fires a warning shot above her head to keep her away or make her go away. And that is clashing with the whole situation with Carl and what Carl wanted from Rick's future and what he wanted the future of their community to be. He doesn't want to turn people away. He wants Rick to help. He wants Rick to be open to people. And it was just a repeat of what happened with Sadiq that got Carl killed. And I know that's the intention, but are we just going to see Rick like repeating the same mistakes? And then that brings me to the scene with him and Negan. So they pull over at the side of the road, Rick and Michonne, and Rick reads the letters that Carl left for them, because he left a letter for Negan and for Rick. And we don't see the full content of those letters. I think that we should at some point. But Rick calls up Negan on the walkie-talkie, and Rick tells Negan that Carl is dead. Negan shows remorse. He seems sincere, because he had a really good few scenes with Carl before they built that relationship up. And he is sorry that Carl is dead, and he says that to Rick, and he does seem genuinely shocked by it, and he even asks if it was him, if it was his group, the Saviours, which shows that it would obviously play on his mind, and he doesn't want to be responsible for that. And he says that he had a future plan for Carl, and that Carl was the future, and that he had plans for him. But then that takes us back to the season 7 finale, where Negan was about to bash Carl's brains in. It was good to see a more sincere side to Negan, and he has had a few moments like that recently where he's opened up, and we've got a hint as to the other type of person he could be when he's not bashing people's heads in violently. But I don't know, it just felt a little bit weird to me, and Rick, again, just says to Negan, I'm going to kill you. Even if we wanted a deal, it won't work. You're going down. So again, he's just shutting off the whole prospect of what Carl wants. But then don't get me wrong, because Negan starts instantly being a dick again and blaming it on Rick and saying Rick has failed as a father, and just saying essentially that it's all Rick's fault. So that's not really cool to do to a grieving dad, just after his son dies. But again, like last week's, it seemed like a bit of a tighter episode. The dialogue a little bit better than what it has been. Because I think what this episode needs, or what this show needs, to get any better, is just to be tighter, more drawn in. Maybe less episodes a season. As much as I hate to say that, just better writers, I think, is what the show really needs. So feel free to talk anything and everything The Walking Dead and this particular episode in the comment section down below, guys, because I will be interested to see what you think about it. I want to see what you think about the Simon and Negan conflict, the Negan and Rick conflict. So yeah, drop me some comments, let me know what you think, and let's get talking about The Walking Dead. I'll be back next week to chat with you about the next episode. So until then, guys, take it easy, and I'll see you in the next one.